I, 18M, never thought I would end up writing something like this on Reddit, but I'm completely lost and desperately need advice. My girlfriend Tori, 19F, and I have been dating for 6 months, and she's honestly been my rock through some of the toughest times of my life. It all started when my parents got divorced last year, literally 2 days after I started university. Even though I kind of saw it coming, the timing couldn't have been worse and completely shattered me. For some background, my parents had been married for 20 years. Mom was an elementary school teacher, loved by her students and colleagues. Dad worked in finance, always busy but seemed successful. We lived a comfortable life in the suburbs, took nice vacations, and from the outside looked like the perfect family. But there were signs I noticed growing up. The hushed arguments late at night, Mom's forced smiles at family gatherings, Dad's increasing absences from home. When the divorce happened, Mom packed her bags and immediately moved to another state to live with my grandma. The suddenness of it all was shocking. One day we were having family dinner, the next day Mom was gone. Because of the distance and my university schedule, I only saw her once during this whole period. That visit was brief and tense. Mom seemed different, more withdrawn, and wouldn't talk about the divorce. I was in a really dark place after all this. I isolated myself from everyone at university, skipped social events, and barely attended classes. Meeting Tori was completely unexpected. She was in my introduction to psychology class and kept trying to talk to me. I remember how she would sit next to me every class, share her notes when I missed lectures, and bring me coffee sometimes. When she first asked me out, I actually turned her down. I wasn't in any headspace for dating and told her so. But she was persistent, not in a pushy way, but she kept being there, being friendly, showing she cared. Eventually, I agreed to get coffee with her, and something just clicked. She was easy to talk to, never judged me when I opened up about my family situation, and somehow knew exactly what to say to make me feel better. Over the next few months, she helped me work through a lot of feelings I would have normally just bottled up. She became my safe space. Mom was always the stable one in our family. In 20 years, I never saw her lose her composure. She handled everything with calm grace, my teenage rebellions, Dad's workaholic tendencies, her own demanding job. She was the person everyone went to for advice. The divorce was apparently triggered when she discovered Dad had been lying about our finances and had gambled away most of their savings. She found out when trying to book a surprise anniversary trip and discovered their joint account was nearly empty. So when Mom said she wanted to meet Tori during Thanksgiving break, I was thrilled. It seemed like a positive step. Mom was talking about maybe moving back to our state, showing interest in my life again. We planned to meet at this Italian restaurant Mom loves, the same place we used to go for family celebrations. Tori and I would drive up and meet her in the parking lot before going in together. The day started normally enough. Tori and I had a good drive up, talking and listening to music. Mom got there first. I saw her getting out of her car as we pulled into the parking lot. She looked good, was wearing her favorite blue dress, and had even gotten her hair done. I got out and hugged her while Tori was grabbing her purse from the backseat. Everything seemed fine until I started introducing them. The moment Tori stepped out of the car, Mom just froze. She stared at Tori with an expression I had never seen before, pure panic mixed with what looked like recognition and horror. Before I could even finish saying Tori's name, Mom's face went completely white. She looked like she'd seen a ghost. Without saying a word, she bolted to her car, hands shaking so badly she dropped her keys twice before managing to get in. She sped off so fast she almost hit another car in the parking lot. I tried calling her immediately but it went straight to voicemail. Within minutes, I discovered she had blocked my number. I tried email, blocked. Facebook, blocked. Instagram, blocked. Even our family group chat showed she had left. I called my grandma in a panic, but she said Mom hadn't come home and wasn't answering her phone either. My grandma sounded really worried, said this was completely out of character for Mom. The really unsettling part is Tori's reaction. She seemed shocked by Mom's behavior, but something felt off about it. When I asked if she had any idea why my mom reacted that way, she just shook her head and said she'd never seen my mom before. But Mom's reaction was so specific, so targeted at Tori. It wasn't just general anxiety or a panic attack, she was staring directly at Tori with clear recognition. I spent the next few days trying every possible way to contact Mom. I reached out to her colleagues at her old school, her friends, even drove by places she used to frequent when she lived here. Nothing. It's like she vanished into thin air. Her best friend from work told me she had called in sick and wouldn't be coming to school for a while. Tori's been supportive through all this, constantly asking if I've heard anything, offering to help look for Mom. But I can't shake this feeling that there's something she's not telling me. The way Mom looked at her. It wasn't just surprise or confusion. It was like she saw something that terrified her. I've known Tori for months now, we spend almost every day together, and she's never given me any reason not to trust her. But this whole situation feels wrong on a deep level. My grandma called yesterday saying she's filing a missing person report if Mom doesn't show up by tomorrow. I'm terrified about what might have happened to her, and equally scared about what this might mean for my relationship with Tori. Should I confront Tori directly? Try to do some digging into her background first? I feel like I'm losing my mind here. Any advice would be really appreciated. I don't want to accuse Tori of anything without proof, but my mom's reaction was so extreme that I can't just ignore it. Something is very wrong here, and I need to figure out what it is before I lose both my mom and my girlfriend. Update 1. First, I want to thank everyone who commented and messaged me with advice. Your words gave me the courage to finally start investigating what really happened that day with my mom and Tori. A lot has happened in the past 2 weeks. The police got involved after my grandma filed the missing person report when mom didn't return after 48 hours. They treated it seriously because of how out of character it was for her to disappear like this. 3 days of absolute hell followed. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, just kept imagining worst case scenarios. Then my grandma called to tell me mom had finally come home. She refused to talk about where she'd been but was clearly shaken up. She still wouldn't answer my calls or emails, but at least we knew she was physically safe. I took the advice many of you gave about doing some basic background checking on Tori before confronting her. What I found sent chills down my spine. All of Tori's social media accounts, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, only went back about 8 months, right around when she started at our university. Seemed odd for a 19-year-old to have no social media presence before that. Her oldest photo showed her looking completely different, platinum blonde hair instead of her current brown, different style, everything. When I did a reverse image search on some of her older pictures, I found an old Twitter account under the name Madison Williams with even older photos of her. The more I dug, the more things didn't add up. The stories she'd told me about growing up in Seattle? Found posts from the Madison Williams account talking about high school in Chicago. Her tales about being a competitive swimmer? The old account showed she was actually on the debate team. It was like she'd created a completely new persona when she started university. I spent days debating how to confront her. Finally, I asked her to come over to my dorm room last week. I started by casually asking about her high school years in Seattle. She launched into her usual stories, but I could see something was off in her expression. When I showed her the screenshots from the Madison Williams account, she froze. At first, she tried brushing it off, claiming she'd deleted her old social media after a bad breakup and changed her name to get away from an abusive ex. But when I kept pushing, showing her more evidence of her contradictions, she broke down crying and revealed something that made my blood run cold. Tori, or Madison, used to be friends with my dad's girlfriend Rachel. Yes, my dad had been having an affair even before the divorce. Rachel worked at his office as a financial advisor. Tori knew her through volunteer work they did together at a local women's shelter. She swore she had no idea Rachel was seeing a married man until last year, when she showed up at a dinner party at Rachel's house and saw my dad there, acting very much like he was in a relationship with the host. Tori admitted she'd known exactly who I was when she first saw me in psychology class. She said she felt terrible about knowing what my dad had done and wanted to make sure I was okay. According to her, she genuinely fell for me over time and was afraid to tell me the truth because she didn't want to hurt me with information about my dad's infidelity. But yesterday, my grandma finally called me directly with mom's version of events. Apparently, a few months before the divorce, mom had gone to confront Rachel about the affair. She had found suspicious texts on dad's phone and tracked Rachel's address. When she got there, she saw Tori/Madison sitting in Rachel's backyard with a group of women. Mom stayed hidden and recorded what she could on her phone. What she overheard destroyed her. They were all laughing about how oblivious dad's wife was, how Rachel was using the money from dad to help pay for Tori's college tuition, and how they'd managed to keep the affair hidden for over a year. Mom said she took photos and videos that day as evidence for the divorce, and Tori was clearly visible in them. That's why she ran at the restaurant. She recognized Tori as the girl who had been laughing about her pain with Rachel. I'm completely devastated. Tori keeps swearing she wasn't really laughing at mom, that she was just being polite at Rachel's house because she desperately needed the tuition help. She claims she genuinely loves me and that getting to know me made her realize how wrong everything was. She's been calling and texting constantly, begging me to believe that her feelings for me are real. I haven't been able to sleep or focus on anything. The girl who helped me through my darkest time, who I trusted with all my pain over my parents' divorce, was friends with the woman who helped destroy their marriage. And worse, she might have actively participated in mocking my mom's suffering. Mom is still refusing to talk to me directly. According to my grandma, she thinks I knew about Tori's connection to Rachel all along and brought her to the restaurant deliberately to hurt her. I would never do that to my mom, but how can I prove it when I didn't even know who my girlfriend really was? I don't know what to believe anymore. Every memory with Tori is now tainted. Was she really being supportive when I cried about missing my mom, or was she secretly laughing about it later with Rachel? When she encouraged me to open up about my feelings about the divorce, was she gathering information to use against my mom? Tori keeps saying everything between us is real, that she's changed, that meeting me made her see how wrong she had been. But how can I trust anything she says now? Update 2. Things have gotten even darker since my last update. After my previous post, I tried giving Tori one last chance to come clean about everything. She kept insisting that she only hid the truth to protect me and that her feelings had become genuine over time. But new revelations have made this whole situation far more twisted than I imagined. My mom finally agreed to meet me last week after weeks of texting through my grandma. She came to my dorm room, looking exhausted but determined. She brought her phone with the evidence she'd gathered that day at Rachel's house. The photos showed Tori, then with blonde hair, Rachel, and 2 other women sitting in Rachel's backyard by the pool. They were all drinking wine and seemed to be having a great time. Then Mom showed me the video she'd recorded. She admitted she'd started filming because her divorce lawyer advised gathering evidence of the affair. The video was about 10 minutes long, and every second of it made me feel sick. Rachel was showing off expensive jewelry, a diamond necklace and a Cartier bracelet that Mom recognized because Dad had claimed they were business gifts he needed to buy for clients. All purchased with money from my parents' joint savings. But the worst part was hearing Tori's voice clearly saying, "His wife must be so stupid not to notice where all their money is going. Rachel, you really struck gold with this one." The whole group laughed, and Rachel added, "Well, the best part is she still thinks he's working late at the office when he's really here with me." When I confronted Tori with this evidence, her entire demeanor changed. Gone was the crying, apologetic girlfriend. Instead, she became defensive and finally revealed the full truth. She and Rachel had orchestrated everything from the beginning. Rachel had seen me starting university on my dad's Facebook post and recognized me as his son. She asked Tori to get close to me to monitor what I might know about the divorce proceedings or if Mom had evidence of the affair. Tori admitted that's why she kept sitting next to me in psychology, why she was so persistent about befriending me even when I pushed her away. Every interaction had been calculated. She'd report back to Rachel about my emotional state, what I knew about the divorce, and any conversations I had with my mom. The tuition story was a complete lie. Tori was actually Rachel's niece, something she had hidden from me all along. They weren't just friends, they were family. Rachel had helped raise Tori after her sister, Tori's mom, died when Tori was young. Their whole relationship was built on lies. The most painful part was realizing that during those 6 months when I was pouring my heart out to her about how the divorce affected me, how lonely and betrayed I felt, how much I missed my mom, she was reporting everything back to Rachel and my dad. They were using this information to try to paint my mom as emotionally unstable during the divorce proceedings, claiming she was alienating me from my dad. I ended things with Tori on the spot. She switched from defensive to desperate, crying and claiming that somewhere along the way her feelings had become real, that she'd fallen in love with me despite her original intentions. She said she wanted to tell me the truth many times but was afraid of losing me. She's been bombarding my phone with messages since then. Some are apologetic, others are angry, accusing me of throwing away something real because of the past. Her friends from university have been reaching out too, telling me I'm being too harsh, that Tori is really broken up about this, that people can change. I blocked all of them. Mom and I have been slowly rebuilding our relationship. She apologized for running that day at the restaurant and for not telling me the truth sooner. She said she was traumatized from hearing them mock her that day at Rachel's house, and seeing Tori with me made her think I was somehow involved in hurting her too. Dad hasn't reached out since everything came to light. According to my grandma, he's still living with Rachel, acting like he did nothing wrong. The divorce proceedings are getting uglier because of Mom's evidence, but at least the truth is finally out. Update 3: Life has changed dramatically since everything unfolded. The past few months have been a journey of healing and uncovering even more ugly truths. I've focused mainly on rebuilding my relationship with my mom. We've been having weekly video calls, and she's finally moving back next month. She found a teaching position at a school just 30 minutes from my university. During our calls, Mom finally told me everything about the divorce. Dad had been taking money from their accounts for years, not just for jewelry and gifts for Rachel, but also paying for vacations, helping with her mortgage, and even funding a small business she wanted to start. All while telling Mom they needed to cut back on expenses and couldn't afford to help with my college fund. Tori tried reaching out one last time through our mutual friend from psychology class. She sent a long handwritten letter explaining her side of things. She wrote about losing her mom at age 12 and how Rachel stepped in to raise her. She described feeling indebted to Rachel, how her aunt had paid for her private school, supported her dreams, and been like a mother to her. When Rachel asked for her help with monitoring me, she felt she couldn't refuse. The letter went on to describe how getting to know me changed everything. She claimed watching my pain made her realize the true impact of what Rachel and my dad had done. She wrote that her feelings for me became genuine, and she found herself trapped between loyalty to her aunt and her growing love for me. But here's the thing, I don't care about her reasons anymore. Every time I opened up to her about missing Mom, every tear I shed over the divorce, every vulnerable moment we shared, she was using it all against my family. She watched me struggle while actively helping the people who caused my pain. The biggest twist came last week when Dad finally reached out. He tried to justify everything. He claimed he only asked Rachel and Tori to keep an eye on me because he was worried about how I was handling the divorce. When I confronted him with the video evidence of them mocking Mom, he got angry and accused Mom of manipulating me against him and Rachel. He even tried to blame Mom for the affair, saying she was too focused on her teaching career. I made a final decision after that conversation. I told both Dad and Tori that I want no contact with them or anyone from Rachel's family. Some relatives have been saying I'm being too harsh, that family is family, and Dad still deserves a place in my life. But they don't understand the depth of this betrayal. Mom's divorce was finalized last month. The evidence she gathered, including the videos of Rachel and Tori, helped her get a much better settlement. She's doing better now, teaching at her new school and even started dating again recently. As for me, I changed most of my classes to avoid seeing Tori. I'm focusing on my studies and have made some genuine friends who understand what real loyalty means. Some days I still can't believe someone could spend months pretending to care about me while actively working to hurt my family, but I guess that's a life lesson learned early. To everyone who supported me through this, thank you. Your advice helped me see the truth when I was too close to the situation to see it myself. Sometimes the most painful choice is the right one. I'm done letting toxic people hide behind excuses of family or love. Sometimes the only way forward is to walk away.